COVID-19 like hit the world like no other pandemic or like any virus in our recent history in our lives. So how will it change the future? How can we overcome the COVID-19? Because it's starting to take a toll on those who are in most need, those who need like to work every day and rely on daily work, and those taking a toll on mental health for those who are working remotely and in isolation. So first of all, I'd like to I've been thinking about how can we overcome COVID-19 in the moment. There are three stages. The first one is like slowing down the pandemic in order not to have the medical saturation, like an overwhelming of the medical system in any country. This is by the social distancing and self-isolation, and that is like the stage that we are in right now, and we are like inching very closely to the end of this stage because it's unsustainable over the long run. So now we have slowed down the spread of the virus. Most countries didn't reach the point where the medical system is overwhelmed. How about the next step? Between the social distancing and easing the restrictions and the lockdowns, and the invention of a vaccine and finding a vaccine for COVID-19. What's in between here? If we just blindly went back to work and over time we forgot about the restrictions and the social distancing, because this is unsustainable in most countries to go back to work while maintaining social distancing, and people will get tired over the couple of months where there is no vaccine. They're going just to come back to the normal life without taking any of the social distancing into consideration. That will ramp up and increase the number of cases exponentially, and there is no way around this. And after being in lockdown, easing the lockdown, getting back to lockdown, this is unsustainable for the economics of any country, and the economy of any, especially if a country that it's a little bit in a developing stage, or even a developed country. It doesn't matter if in this case. And on the mental health of those who are working remotely, because they're starting to feel like everyone is in isolation, is affecting everyone working remotely. And I've seen that myself, in a lot of my colleagues, those who are not used to being in isolation or working for a prolonged period of time on a project or on something in isolation alone, it's taking a huge toll on their mental health and their psychological health and well-being. So, what happens when we return back to normality, which is most probably going to be in this month? And as most people who are significant in this area, like Bill Gates saying that it will take about a year for a vaccine to be for COVID-19 to be invented and to be available for everyone. How we are going to address this? I've been thinking about this, and I think it sounds crazy, but those who are crazy enough to think to question the unquestionable are the ones who change the world. So just hear me out on this crazy idea. We will, as humanity, how is the virus being spread to everyone? First of all, it's just by coughing, by sneezing, by breath. So why can't we just wear face masks to prevent the spread of the virus? Because some say that is not good at preventing you from inhaling the virus if it was already there. It's hard to speak. It's annoying. It's not very comfortable to wear the face mask all the time. These are the downsides for wearing a face mask. But why do we wear face masks? Just to prevent others from getting sick. We in order to get back to normality without even taking into consideration the social distancing, why don't we just this is a crazy idea, but I'd like to admit that this is very crazy. But we need crazy ideas to in that challenging times. And as I mentioned, those who are crazy enough to think different and question the unquestionable are the ones who change reality, are the ones who push humanity, are the ones who save the earth, are the ones who invent, are the ones who dare to leap. So the idea is we will have like a backpack or like a cylinder or a pod, something we wear on our back, like a backpack, which is connected to a mask on our like nose and mouth. This backpack will have pure oxygen, be filled with pure oxygen, or just like normal like air, but it will be enclosed in the bag. And that bag will have two like sections: one for the air you will inhale, one for the air you will exhale. Like when you exhale, it will like collect the air you exhaled in that section in that bag. And that section in the bag will include some ultraviolet lights that operate with a battery or like with solar energy. And when you exhale this way, you are inhaling air from that enclosure in your bag, whatever its design will be. And the exhaled air will be stored in that other enclosure. Ultraviolet rays, like ultraviolet light, it seems like I'm not an expert by any means. I didn't do any experiments. I wish I have the capacity to do them and experiment myself, but the reality is I don't at the moment. In the future I will, I'm sure of that. But at the moment, that ultraviolet ray light that are being emitted from that other enclosure will purify and kill bacteria and viruses in that enclosure. And we will have somehow, in the International Space Station, there is technology to purify the air, convert carbon dioxide to oxygen one more time. And if we can shrink this technology down somehow, which I'm sure we are in a dire need to do so we can invest money in that. We will take the carbon dioxide, convert it to oxygen after being purified, of course, by the ultraviolet rays to the other enclosure as well. And then we will start breathing that again. This way, you can, there is no point from social distancing anymore. You are already, even if you are sick, you will just be, breathing into your own, bag of, air on your back. No way, anyone else will be infected. And at the same time, no one else, will get sick just from inhaling, contaminated air, because there is no way it will be contaminated after that. It looks ridiculous and it sounds insane, but this is the only solution to get back to normality, and wait for the period of time that we will be able as humanity to find a vaccine and develop that vaccine and test it and distribute it and manufacture it on an unprecedented scale in a record time, because the entire world needs that vaccine. We are 7 billion people, humans on this planet at the moment, and it requires an international cooperation and manufacturing scale at unprecedented scale. This way we can return back to normality. We can get back to our offices. We can get back to our those who would like to socialize, those who would like to go out with friends. They can go out. They can get back to normality. There is an initial cause for this idea, which is the manufacturing, blah blah blah. But at the same time, there you can improve, get back to normal economy, a normal work, and everyone will be able to work. So that will help in overcome this initial cause as well. So this is my idea of overcoming the current situation. This is how we can overcome it. The other thing here that I wanted to share, have your opinion about it and share it with you, is that. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, but let me try and remember one more time, because I was very focused on the first one, because we are in dire need of that. We need that solution, which I have just explained in the first part of this video in those 10 minutes. But how will coronavirus change the future of work, change the future of the economy in the future? Most people now, all of a sudden, because of the need to stay at home and social distancing and reducing the transportation, most people now understand that we don't need to be everywhere physically to perform a certain task or a job. We don't need to waste our time, energy just to be there physically. Why Zoom exploded in popularity, FaceTime, even Telegram is going to develop video calls and group video calls this year as they have promised, and I'm waiting for that, of course. How is that gonna change? In the future, I believe, even after COVID-19 is over and the vaccine is developed, we will use the video conferencing, virtual presence in a different place to save up our time. This will save money. You don't need to waste your time on 2-hour drive just to get to someone to share something or be there physically. We can voluntarily choose to do so, but you wouldn't be obligated. You wouldn't be obligated to do so. You can work at the office if you wish, but you are not going to be obligated for 5-6 days being physically there at the office. This will save money. This will save time. Improve the experience of those who are working with you, your employees. This will even give them more time, more free time, instead of wasting those 2 hours in a two-way drive. You can just have that time with you, for you, your friends, your family, working on your project, do whatever you want. It's just it was already a wasted time. You can just use it in a more efficient way. This is how the future the COVID-19 is going to change the future, which is having a very good effects on our environment and our world. You don't need to have that amount of cars and traffic jams and congestion in our roads. Everyone in the world is experiencing that. We will save the environment and will have a very good effect on the climate change as well. I believe the consumption of fuel and fuel energy that are not very good for our environment and will be significantly reduced in the future, which is one of the few very positive outcomes from that pandemic outbreak in our time. I'm not quite sure. What do you think regarding the how we can overcome COVID-19 without going back into recession and into an increased number of cases and increased number of patients one more time until the vaccine is developed and tested and distributed and manufactured? About this idea, and the other one, how the future of work and the future of the society will change forever because of this COVID-19 situation that we have been through. Please feel free to share your ideas. Feel free to share your opinions with complete honesty. I don't care about how you say it. I just care about the idea itself and your opinion. And be bold. Be crazy enough. Be think out of the box. Don't assume that there are any crazy ideas that are inapplicable. Those who are crazy enough to think different and challenge these established thoughts and ideas are the ones who change the world, change it for the better, save maybe even a lot of people from dying, or a lot of people from being affected, and changing our lives to be in a better position in the future. So please keep thinking different.